Hi guys, how are you doing today? Sure that you're fine. So right now, I have someone in the studio. Meanwhile, do you have your nieces, do you have your nephews that behave in some particular way and you're thinking that probably there's something wrong with him or her? I'm here to tell you that there's nothing wrong with that child or that teenager or that young adult. It's just his or her generation, and there's a whole lot different from your time and their time. Do you think that Gen Zs have struggle, or do you think that they just want to be heard? You think that they just want to be seen, or you think that they're just a set of complete children without respect? Well, let's get to find out. I have a sharp Gen Z in the studio. She's very, very sharp, very talented.
For me.
Very talented and highly industrious. She's a singer, she's a poet, she's a podcaster, she's everything. I mean, she has the talent of switching from one accent to the other, the Indian, the American, the UK. As in, she's just too sharp, and it's her generation, the Gen Z. How are you doing, sir?
Very well, vibrant lady. Very well.
Okay, so tell us, do you think that the Gen Z, your generation, do you think you guys have real struggles, or you think that you're okay, just that the others do not understand you guys?
I mean, first of all, every stage, every generation has their struggles. But the thing is, it varies. Every generation struggles vary from the next. And what I can say about Gen Z is, first of all, like, check Google, Gen Z starts with an age range from like 1997 down till 2012. And I think this particular generation, I'll just say it's the social media generation, because every aspect of the Gen Z's life is kind of, I wouldn't say every, but a huge majority of, the aspects of a Gen Z's life revolves around social media. The depression we have lately is not even about physical stuff. Back then it might be because you're chubby or stuff, but now what puts it in your face, it's actually social media. Any Gen Z, which is very hard to find, who's not social media savvy, who's not so much on social media, has pretty much a huge sense of peace of mind and is hardly as depressed as the ones with phones and active on social media, and that's like the majority.
Okay, so that's one of the struggles.
That's the first things first. Yes,
depression. Yeah,
you get to see what people call fake life. It's everywhere on social media, and then you who's living your real life out there, and you're like, why don't I have a Gucci bag? Gucci bag that's worth like thousands of dollars. You're like, but my friend is posting this on social media, and you don't know if she's just in the store, and she probably just snuck it into the toilet and took a video with it, and you want to just get to that same light. You want to still do what she's doing, and at the end of the day, in the real world, what you're seeing on social media is not what it is. It's just fake life. But then these things get to depress the other Gen Zs who feel like they're not meeting up to these social media standards. Right now, social media sets the standards. So
for Gen Z,
yeah. So that's a very, very, in fact, that's one of the biggest struggles.
All right, so we've tried to map out one. Then what about drugs? I think the Gen Z generation is doing lots. I think for other generations, probably just drinking 1, 2, 3 bottles.
Yes.
But now Gen Z is doing drugs. The females, I think the females are even on the higher side. Tell us.
I wouldn't say so, but the females who are into drugs, especially this shisha, because it's now like, if you do shisha, you have class, which is not true, but that's how they make it seem. They are very proud about it, and they make it so obvious everywhere on social media. Once they puff on, their cameras are on. My girl, take a video of me. And, cloud nine. I'm proud of what I'm doing. Everybody see, I've got this pink shisha and whatnot. And it's just, when they post it, it's like, girls too. And their friends would also want to do the same. And then a lot of videos are on social media. But guys, they do it like, probably wake up, breakfast, yam and Igbo. So it's no big deal to start, publicizing it on social media. So that's why it looks like girls
are doing it more. But it's just that they're feeling in.
Exactly.
They just want to belong.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so what about dress sense? The Gen Z seems to be doing more of the show off. I mean, you take a walk to their supermarket or the mall, and you see them showing off their tummy. They don't want to wear a bra, and let's talk about it. What's happening?
They don't want to wear, but that part is the part I don't really get. Well, I'm a Gen Z, but I don't know.
You don't know why?
I don't know.
You don't have friends that wouldn't want to put on a bra or something.
You cannot be my friend and try it, but why?
But it's actually a struggle at this time.
It is a struggle. Like, girls, okay, now this is the thing. First of all, I think this age, is an age of a lot of too many unnecessary activism.
Okay.
First of all, yes, the feminist idea started out sanely, it made sense. The point was we don't want to be marginalized. We want to have the same rights, as men when it comes to, don't restrict me to just being in the kitchen, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because God endowed you to do way more than just, there are a lot of ladies who have achieved a lot of great things. So just, putting the entirety of a woman to just be in the house doesn't make sense. Okay, it started off fine, but right now, the thing we call feminism is now going crazy. You have girls who say they want to have the right to be free, and at the end of the day, they're doing what we call psyche abuse.
Okay.
They want to be free to dress how they like. They want to be free to wear. Literally, they don't mind just putting a duct tape on their nipple and going out.
That's what they do,
because
actually.
they're like, I'm a feminist. I have my rights to be free. Men can go out with their bare body, so why can't I?
But even the men cover up more. The men cover up. We don't even have that argument. You'll find a man and a woman in a beach, for example. You see the man properly, totally covered up.
shorts.
Yes. But you see the lady trying to expose herself. But I think that with the Gen Z community generation, basically, is actually on the high side. But now they've been misconstrued. You find them in offices where they think that they are disrespectful. They are not being understood.
That's where I still talk of activism. No, I should use the word rights.
Okay.
Now, I think Gen Zs, because of everything boils down to social media. Every part of a Gen Z's life, okay, a lot of Gen Z's life are influenced by social media. They've gone online, they've seen a lot of people defending their rights. It's interesting. This person defended his right and he got supported, he won. Like, okay, fine. Everything right now is about rights. When you talk about workspace, instead of them to go through the work job description and you know what you're doing, and if it works with you, you're like, okay, fine, I accept this job. Or you go through it, it's not okay with you, okay, fine, I don't accept this job. They would accept this job, disregarding the work description, and then when they're working, they'll be like, my rights, you cannot stress me further than 6 hours. This is my right.
Yeah.
This is my right.
Yeah. So that means Gen Zs are more outspoken, and then
Yes.
and then people don't get it, they don't accept it because it's not supposed to
Because
be.
most times they express their right very well, and extra miles. They go extra miles expressing their right. They go overboard. So I think that's why people can't even stand it.
So what do you advise? I mean, we all I hear people talking about everyone is complaining. So where do we come from?
Well, what can I say? The world is evolving. So each generation is evolving. The fact that this Gen Z now, I call us social media generation. The fact that we grew up with social media in this period, when you have probably your mom working, your dad working, or your mom busy and maybe you need her attention or something, and like, just take this phone and watch this movie. And that's how you just get addicted growing up. You just get addicted to phones, and you just basically get addicted to phones. So you resolve everything about your life. You just boil down to a phone. You're not having a good day. You go on your social media to binge and stuff. The fact that we're a social media generation is the first bad thing that has happened, because right now there's no real world anymore.
So it also seems like they take all their advice they learn from
social media, basically, and that's just basically it. So if I'm to say something about the Gen Z, something that could help,
yes,
I would say to reduce screen time, basically. It's hard that I don't know the word right now, but I wrote it down. But then it's a word that means depriving yourself of social media for a long period of time. If they could just do that, deprive themselves for like a week. It's hard. There's a lot of Gen Zs who would not survive it.
of course.
So if they could do this, just discipline yourself, train yourself, fine. 1 week, I am not touching my phone. I am not binging on YouTube. I am not binging on socials. I'm just going to stay off phone. If I want to read, I'll go to my books library. If I want to open my Bible, the hard copy Bible, because it's like that doesn't even exist anymore.
Oh, well, but that's not even because of, churches, even right down in churches.
And projectors and stuff.
Projectors actually help to kill that.
The technology generation. So if you could be more real, you want to see your friend, don't have to WhatsApp them, go see them physically.
Actually.
You want to just basically do everything off this smartphone for a week. that would help. You get some sense of sanity because our world is going insane right now. We're being influenced daily. Okay, now let me tell you something. There's this thing called a tick. It's called Tourette's. It's not a human manufactured thing. It's a disease, sickness, whatever you want to call it. It's like a sickness. So it makes somebody act involuntarily. Involuntarily, like if I could be talking and then I just scream a very vulgar word, it's not me doing it, it's just the Tourette syndrome. But now, because social media, this is news, it's fact.
Actually, yeah, I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, so social media now has some people who have this syndrome for reals going live, and when they're live, people get to see, why is she talking? And then she just off point, she just says something like, maybe beetroot or the F word or something, just screams things crazy. And now, because social media is the main influence,
they have that up.
It's not acting it.
Exactly.
And doctors are like, wait a minute, this child was not having these syndromes at any point in her life.
And all of
a sudden she has been involved with social media and now she has it. It's something that you should have, been detected by a doctor, but now it's something like you kind of copied, kind of emulated. So that goes a long way to show how social media influences this generation.
But I also think that even other generations as well, the social media has come to play some very negative role. And so I think for everyone, once in a while, come on, reduce your screen time. Drop that phone, drop it. I mean, sometimes I get people do that, although you know that it's even going to be difficult. I mean, you have work time, if they're in school, some people's timetables or exam or whatever is being changed on a regular basis. You still need to be online, still need to get all those info. So I think it's quite difficult. But then you can monitor it. You can regulate how you use your social media and know the kind of sites and platforms you get involved in. I think that if we all can reduce our screen time and get involved with physical communication, it can help. It can help us.
Reality.
Yes, exactly. To get a better generation. Do you agree? Do you disagree with all of the things that Smart has said here tonight? All you need to do is to drop your thoughts and opinion on the comment section and we'll come dialogue. And remember to share and subscribe as well. See you next week.